Viewers, yes, hello, stream viewers, it's so good to know you don't care if I can hold a tune. Well, yes, hello, viewers, how are you?
With a green glass screen, placing blocks per hand, it's the hills extreme. Have you ever seen a yo's expand? Grown and shown up with your demands, yeah. Everybody subscribe, Sean Hills is here to promote his bro live. Placing blocks all over the place, all powered by a vegan with jump boost and haste. Brother, I'll watch him let's play. Excavate with Joe, all the views I'll say it. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Joe. Go binge watch, 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 Joe. Stream it. Fill in your gaps, check live feeds and load up HermitCraft. Watch it on any size screen. Back it up to clone redstone machines just building. With dry concrete powder, wetting it down for a much smoother towel. Cause on this tube there's only one server. The whitelist is closed, so don't inquire further. Neighboring players compete on their stores. HermitCraft is you love with improv rapport. You just binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. Joe. Viewers, you better click subscribe because today we're building that hype. Comment, your praises don't fail. Sean Hill's on a roll with HermitCraft details. Singing out loud the way it should be sung with the natural sound that you like for fun. You know it's live now like a HermitCrafter. Read the description, tweet about it after. The hour of the Hermit is nigh. Churning out videos y'all will like. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Joe. Go binge watch, 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 Joe. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Binge watch, HermitCraft. Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. Go binge watch, Joe. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream.
Lay your head down and just let your mind float downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream.
Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us! Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. Also, tonight is today, this afternoon. Why? Why are we streaming so early? What happened? Oh, it's that one special time of the year where I have to live my life on Sweden time. That's right. It is the 2022 Virtual Creator Summit for Minecraft this, I guess today and tomorrow. We just got done with day one at around 8:45 this morning, so I was able to do that and then hang out with Cleo and Janie Laney, both of whom attended the Creator Summit with me, very early this morning. What we worked on our craft streams, Cleo did some work on her bullet journal. I made a roller coaster model. It's really cool. It actually started off as a sheet of metal with a bunch of pieces in it, right? And then I took those pieces out and I put them in here. Woo! Roller coaster model. So I've already streamed for like 2.5, 3 hours today and attended the first day of the Creator Summit. I've got the Creator Summit Day 2 starting tomorrow at like 5:45 my time. I'm setting my alarm for like 5 so I can make sure I've got my coffee. I'm all ready. If I, sometimes some parts of it we're going to be on like possibly calls. I always want to assume that nobody's going to want to turn their cameras on for these calls, but then sometimes one person does want to turn their camera on, and I'm like, well, now I need my camera on. So, that means I got to get my Gomez Adams suit on. I got to be fully dressed for this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to wear the Gomez Adams suit. But, we do have that going on. First day of the Creator Summit was really interesting and fun. No real shocks or surprises. I was kind of worried that I would be like, oh no, I gotta talk about this one thing. But there wasn't like one, like we have to sign an NDA, so we can't talk about specifics of what they showed us, right? But it wasn't like there was like one big thing where it's like, oh man, they're blowing my mind. It's just like, okay, here's a picture of what's going on behind the scenes, right? Here's what we're looking at in terms of how we're organizing and planning going forward. Here's how we saw some things that went wrong with the last few updates. It seems like everything is on track on the whole. But yeah, it's nothing that I can. But I'm not gonna. I can't really talk to you at all about like what exactly was said. So anyway, because we already did that stream earlier, we were on the rotational camera for that. And so actually the camera here, so transferring from the rotational camera to the other camera is a little weird sometimes. We're at 70% opacity. We are currently, by my abacus count, 17 away from the Tony Stark helmet cam, the most obnoxious face camera size. Okay. I think the stream is all set up. I don't know if any of y'all saw, I had a new episode come out today. I put it out at 5:30 this morning. Normally I would wait until I woke up, but I was awake, so I'm like, well, I want to have this go live before the summit starts by at least a few minutes. So if something goes wrong, people can tell me, like, Joe, you gotta fix this. So luckily nothing seemed to go wrong with it. I don't want to do that long an episode again for a little while. Not like long in terms of like, I think the episode came out to like 35 minutes, 33 minutes. That's fine. But like, what I don't want to do is spend another 11 days grinding on an episode. Like it's good to do some grindy episodes here and there, but I kind of did 2 back to back. And so now I want to do something a lot different. I've been thinking about, one of the things that's really been frustrating for me is that this storage area down here in my mine entrance are just like absolutely a mess. So yeah, like this area is still going to be usable in the long term because this is where the what do you call this is, the spawner and access to the gems and things like that. But realistically, this isn't where I want like most of my base to be centered, right? We really want to put everything up here in the back box, which right now we don't even have any depth on. So I kind of need to figure out, what I'm thinking is I might, for the next episode, establish how far back the back box goes. And then start putting some of the like moving all my storage and stuff back up in here and having like my bedroom and stuff set up, and that'll all look down over the rest of this, which I think should be cool. But that also feels kind of grindy because it is going to be a big structure. We're going to have to get a bunch of leaves to get the wireframe in the very least. We are going to need Luckily, I've already got a bunch of the blackstone set up that we're gonna need for the coin door part of this build. I'm kind of thinking, though, what we should probably do right now is maybe go collect some leaves for getting the wireframe together. So that way we can just kind of... I think it would be more visually appealing if we open with the wireframe of the back box. We've already got kind of the depth in there, you know? So, in order to do that, we're going to need... And that'll also, once we get the back box set up, we can move our pinball machine stuff here. Where was that guy? Is there a cave back here? What? I've gotten randomly creepered sometimes. And I was like, where are these creepers coming from? Look at this. Oh, that's unacceptable. Hey, thanks, World Generation. You're a real pal. Okay, so we're just gonna block that off. Okay. Is that netherite new in the inventory? Yeah, we got that just at the close of the last episode. We haven't gotten the chance to use it yet. Yeah, occasionally there are non-scar creepers over here, and I was wondering... It was driving me nuts because I couldn't figure out where they were coming from. But now we know. Okay, let's do a quick inventory check. Did we have any leaves secured? I think we used basically all the leaves on the existing wireframe. We've got one left. Yeah. Okay. So, that's fine. We have plenty of iron in here. So why don't we go ahead and we'll grab out of here some shears. Oh, wait, we had talked about going to buy shears at Pearls. But, like, from a structural standpoint, we just opened the last episode by, like, going shopping at Pearls for the trident. So I don't think we're going to want to do that here. Crowbrain says, this is my first stream. Is Joe always a ghost? So the way it works is the camera gets bigger when people tip, and we hit certain tipping milestones. We're currently $17 away from the next face camera expansion. And tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. So, Fendi7 says, hey, Joe, great work expanding the Nether Hub for everyone. Ah, thank you. Or the corridors, yes. I do what I can. So, let's get these shears out of our way for right now. Oh, boy. Inventory management. It's the thing to do. Okay. Oh, I was gonna move this here as well. Let's go ahead and actually just cook these while we're waiting, or while we're doing everything else. I call ancient debris netherite too, so yeah, no, I knew exactly what you're speaking my language. Okay, so actually before we fill our inventory with leaves, let's maybe put down a box here. And we don't need the fire resistance right now or the ender pearls. We'll hold on to the totem of undying because it looks kind of creepy behind me. Can I make my head match it? Hold on. This is really hard, you guys. I can't get that angle. It's a weird angle. Hold on. It's like that, but like further this way. I'm trying to... The totem of undying. Okay. Coffee. Okay. I did take a nap after my stream. I set the alarm for 2 sleep cycles, but I woke up after 1. So, but I did get a full sleep cycle in. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself to like, oh, I got to get X amount of footage for this next episode done today. My goal today is just to kind of sort out what I need to have figured out by tomorrow, right? So Like, for example, I'm realizing I need to measure the back box of the actual pinball machine before tomorrow's stream. Actually, what I should do is I should be putting that in my project management list. Okay. To do by, okay, HC-017 to do. Measure total nuclear annihilation, back box. Gather leaves. Draft cabling hole, speaker grill, score display, back box display, locations, on graph paper. Okay. Ah! It's getting dark. Did you see that? Did you see it's getting dark? This is why we got the Totem of Undying. Oh, man. Thanks. Apparently, though, we also are running low on shears already. Huh. Who'da thunk? Put that away for right now. So we can go boop and boop. Greetings, Yvette. Howdy to the Netherlands. But yeah, we're at the point where we need a permanent storage solution. And so one of the things that I want to do too is I want to be able to take wow, that we burned through those shears fast. So one of the things I worked on as well is I made a boat-in movie theater here. So I can show y'all. So like, let's say that when I'm going to do measurements from the pinball machine for the next episode, I can actually take videos and photos of the machine and then overlay them in post-production for YouTube onto this Minecraft drive-in movie screen. And I'm realizing in retrospect it would have been a lot cooler to build that movie screen such that it would be visible, such that the pinball machine would be behind it. But whatever, we can workshop that later. Hey, Top the Scott, glad you could join us. So that's one of the fun things about streaming a little earlier today is a lot of folks over there out east. Top the Scott, presumably, of course, joining us from Wales. No, just kidding, Scotland, is able to join us today. Good to see you, as always, Tal. But yeah, so I'm working on some behind-the-scenes stuff with how I'm going to integrate that footage. This next episode is going to be a lot more pinball-focused, right? We've been doing a lot of infrastructure stuff because I kind of... honestly, I needed to gather a bunch of the blackstone and basalt from the tunnel. For the scale that the pinball machine is at, we needed a lot of those materials. So even though it looked like I was being super helpful to everyone else, I was actually also prepping. Like, this machine is so huge. Like, it's 128 blocks wide and 256 blocks deep. It goes to build height, right? You know, that's not a day one build. Even the wireframe, the leaves for the wireframe are extensive, as you can tell. So yeah, so we're finally at the point where we're gathering enough material that I can start building this and actually fleshing some of it out. It's not going to have the final artwork on the side because we still haven't picked a theme for the machine, but we're getting closer to that. Rip Maltz is rating with a party of 14. Thank you very much, Rip Maltz. Welcome. My name is Joe Hills. I'm broadcasting live from Nashville, Tennessee, here on the HermitCraft server. That's my face. I'm using one of those webcam overlays. I heard that they're popular with streamers now, and, you know, if I want to be popular with anybody, it's streamers, right? You know, I got to have my priorities. You can't be popular with everybody. So, you know, that's what we're doing. Okay. So, welcome. It is going well. We are gathering more leaves to flesh out the wireframe for our giant Minecraft pinball machine. This is a scale model based on the cabinet of Total Nuclear Annihilation, which was created by Scott Denisi. But the actual play field and art on this is going to be custom by me. But we're using Total Nuclear Annihilation as our cabinet and backbox model to just let me focus on being creative about the fun stuff. And so right now we're gathering leaves. As you can see, the back box right now is just a square or a rectangle. It's not a box, whereas a real pinball back box would actually have depth to it. So we're gathering the leaves we need now. Between now and the next stream, I'm actually going to go... I'm renting a Total Nuclear Annihilation from Don't Panic Flip right now, who's another streamer, part of the Pinball Network. So I'm going to get my tape measure out, and I'm going to measure the actual back box. So this placeholder is technically correct in terms of height and width, but it's actually got some angles on it. It's not straight up and down, and it's got some depth to it, and I got to figure out the exact numbers there. So right now, we are just chopping down a bunch of leaves so we can get that back box wireframe properly done. We also need to gather more birch for our play field. The what's called the whitewood of a pinball playfield is actually 9-ply birch in real life, and so it's not gonna be 9 blocks thick, but we will make it with actual stripped birch logs in game. Hey, looks like we got a tip rolling in via PayPal. Let's see who that's from. Thank you to Remus for tipping 4, who says, "You've been several of my dreams at this point, and it's the slightest bit silly. Here, take my money, Joe." Well, thank you, Remus. I appreciate you supporting the arts and my show in particular. That puts us 13 away from the next face camera expansion. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Hey, NJ. Glad you got your workday finished. I'm going to be ending mine a little bit early today since I've got the Creator Summit. I got to wake up shortly after 5 for tomorrow for day 2. So day 1 is a lot of presentations and stuff, and day 2 is more conversations with the developers and other creators. Like, there's a lot more back and forth, you know. So they kind of, like, fill us in on, hey, here's what we're working on. And then, you know, say, okay, we'll talk to you tomorrow after you've had time to think about it and digest. So we come back, we, you know, hang out, ask questions, chat. It's a lot less structured, but in my opinion, it's the more important of the 2 days. Because if you miss the presentations, you could always, like, look at the slides later and kind of get most of the information out of them, right? But the actual real value of it is the back and forth. Hey, are we getting another raid? Cleo, Zombie Cleo raiding with a party of 209. Howdy, Cleo. Joe Hills raid here. Or no, wait, I'm not raiding. Welcome, Cleo Raiders. Look, for anybody who saw our arts and crafts streams earlier, here is the roller coaster that I was working on when I was talking to Cleo. I'm really proud that I was able to knock this out in one stream. But hey, Triforce 00111 tips 13 and says, "Grow that hills." Well, we are about to hit the most obnoxious face camera expansion milestone. If you've never seen a Joe Hill stream before, just so you know, every time we hit a tipping milestone, the camera gets bigger and also slightly more transparent. And we are about to hit the most obnoxious face camera setting possible. Here we go. Expand Joe. Do. Lowering the Joe opacity now to 60%. We call this the Tony Stark or Joni Stark helmet cam. Everybody who's been tipping at this up to this point has been making the camera more obnoxious. At this point, though, it's already covering so much of the screen. You know, when it gets bigger, it'll actually get easier to see through because the opacity or the Joe opacity will continue to drop. So, yeah. Also, Yeah. While I'm holding up this roller coaster, I'm really proud of myself for not slicing my hand on the sheet metal either. Like, this was a lot of very sharp pieces of metal here. but it turned out great. I'm actually really impressed with how the green screen is processing this, like how that's. But yeah, that turned out really well. It's always nice when you buy a kit. Sometimes you're just like, I don't know if it's gonna come out like, it's like, oh, the one on the box looks great, but oh, whoops, wasn't supposed to show a logo there. I am not affiliated with any particular coffee company. I am just drinking out of a mug that happens to have coffee in it. No ad. So anyway, we are gathering some birch for the playfield and some leaves for the wireframe. Yeah, that whole thing was short bits. Here, let me hold up. So every piece of that thing was actually from one piece of sheet metal. And I had to snip these out over the course of the arts and crafts stream, and then assemble them. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So thank you, Cleo, for hanging out earlier, and thank you for the raid. We are just doing some preparations. We're gathering some resources. If you've seen my YouTube videos, but not my streams, in the videos when I go like, now we just need to gather 8 shulkers of logs. Time skip. Or whatever. This is the time skip. The live streams are what happens between the time skips. Like, you're welcome. You've stepped into a pocket dimension. So, So, what we are gathering materials for is my giant scale colossal pinball machine base here. I've currently got like a small starter base inside this pinball. This pinball that I'm in right now is actually at the same scale as the pinball machine, right? So if we were going to build a pinball that goes inside of that machine, which actually we're going to probably have 3 to 4 of those, because most pinball machines have at least 3 balls, sometimes 4 or more, that ball would be that size inside of here, right? So, like, the shooter lane would line up with the plunger right here. The playfield, you'd go up the shooter lane. The ball would probably hit something that ramps it back around. And so the inside of the pinball machine is actually going to end up being an elytra course, too. That's something I've been working on, is figuring out how to make this. Since in Minecraft there's no way to move anything that big, that fast, the player could be the pinball. And maybe what we'll do is we'll make one of those pumpkin hats that's looks like a pinball, so that when you're in F5 mode, if you doing the elytra course in F5 mode, you can see like, woo, I'm a pinball going through here, that sort of thing. Could be fun. So, anyway, that is what we are up to today. Just gathering resources. This is where the coin door is going to go. There's the start button, left flipper button, right flipper button. I actually have, I got in the mail a bunch of stuff for this build. Like, because we're going to be building a scale model of real things, so I ordered some of those real things in the mail, right? So this is actually what a switch that the flipper button hits looks like. And you can see there's a little contact on there. And when somebody presses the button, it closes that circuit. And let's see, I've got some cable wires for the P3 lighting assembly. I've got, what are the buttons? Big bag everything. Oh, here's the actual. So the actual button that like hits that looks like this, and it like mounts in the cabinet. And then when somebody hits the flipper button, that hits that metal piece, right? That we just held up. I've got example, like I've got a pop bumper cap here. I've got. Oh, I actually ordered multiple flipper buttons. I ordered a white one that I held up just now, but then I also ordered a clear one And so the idea is, and with the clear one, you can actually see the spring inside of it. Maybe not the way I'm shooting this here because of the way the camera is. But yeah, so that right there, up there, would be like this button flipped the other way. Hold on. How can I hold it the right distance? That would be really cool if I could. But yeah. So that would actually go into the machine, past the plywood, and hit that copper switch, which would then send a signal to yeah, clear doesn't translate well. We can use the white one. The white one also doesn't translate well, but a core concept. Fendi says, so pinball flippers are simply on-off. Well, the thing is that, like, when they send energy to the coils inside the flipper assembly, flipper assemblies are not something I was able to afford because they're super expensive. All of the parts that I want total to show for this build are very expensive. So I started off by ordering all of the cheapest possible parts, like those buttons. Like, these are like, you know, $1 or something, right, for the buttons. And so that way I'm not breaking the bank. Oh, I got a deal on these stand-up targets. So, like, on the playfield, these are like the targets that would go in front of posts, right? So as I drop them all over the floor, oh my gosh. And if you look at it from the side, it's actually got the same kind of copper switch that you saw on the flipper button. And so when this yellow part here hits this foam and compresses, it's going to temporarily hit that and connect those. RB says, how do you know what's inside a pinball machine? Do you find schematics or take one apart? Well, I'm renting a pinball machine right now, and so I am able to use that for reference. But also, yes, schematics are available, manuals, guidebooks, that sort of thing. But, like, I'm literally ordering these from a real parts supplier. Scott Denisi, who's been a guest on the stream before, works for a company called Pinball Life. This is not an advertisement for them. This is just factual. All of these parts I'm buying at face value or whatever. They are not a sponsor. But yeah, Scott Denisi works as an engineer at Pinball Life, which is a pinball parts company. And they actually, he custom designs replacements for certain old pinball machine parts, and then they send them off to manufacturing facilities, and then they sell those as replacements on old machines. He also designs custom parts for people doing homebrew machines. So yeah, Duskadair says, are you going to use copper blocks in the build, material match or color match? So in a lot of cases for stuff like that, we might have to figure out like the size match, because for something that thin, we might have to do it kind of representationally with like copper lightning rods, but it's gonna be kind of weird. So on stuff like that, that's too small to be represented accurately inside the machine, what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be building... Hey, welcome, Spacey Haminator. Spacey Haminator. Sorry, I woke up at 5 a.m. for the Minecraft Creators Summit. Spicy Haminator. Glad you could join us. I'm actually going to be building a whole kind of parkway of pinball machine parts along here, with those parts at a much larger scale than actually inside the machine, right? So inside the machine, we're limited by keeping the machine to a reasonable size here. But yeah, Spicy Haminator is a streamer that we rated who was playing NES pinball the other night, and that was a real fun time. So quick shout out to Spicy Haminator. Twitch.tv. Oh, so we only have artisanally typed links here. No bots or anything. Twitch.tv/Spicy Haminator. But yeah, glad you could join us. But yeah, so my mega base for this season, I've got about a year to work on this, I figure. We're not looking to restart HermitCraft Season 9 or end Season 9 anytime soon. So anyway, the parts like those switches that would connect inside of the buttons here, even at this scale, you're not going to have full resolution really. So we might build like lying on their side a version of it that's even like double the size of inside the machine somewhere over here. The Minecraft Creator Summit is an event where Mojang, the company, the subsidiary of Microsoft that develops Minecraft, invites a bunch of creative people like me to attend some panels and talks and then hang out with them and kind of provide feedback, do some Q&As, that sort of thing. So we had day 1 of the Creator Summit today, which was mostly presentations, which is mostly them talking to us. And day 2 starts very early tomorrow morning because it's on Sweden time, and they're like 7 hours ahead of us. So, and day 2 is a lot more interactive and us kind of going back and forth. And so we've had a day to digest what they talked about in their presentations today, and then like we'll kind of chat and hang out, that sort of thing. So I really got to be my best and be... Like, for the presentations today, I could kind of roll in and just take some notes and sit quietly and drink my coffee. But tomorrow, like, I'm actually going to be interacting and talking with people, right? So, no, this summit is not streamed to the public. We all have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And if we streamed it, we would not be invited back. Yeah, several other hermits were there. Doc, Cleo, Hypno, in the very least. I saw several other people. I don't know. Doc, Cleo, and Hypno are the ones that I saw in particular, but I think at least 4 or 5 other ones mentioned it. We were all invited, but not everybody could fit it in their schedule. So anyway, we're doing tonight's stream. Normally I would stream tonight at 8:30 p.m., but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start early and end early so that I can get my rest. We're probably going to go... We've been going for about 35 minutes now. We're probably going to go for another half hour to an hour because... I was up until... I'm not in Sweden right now. It's a virtual creator summit this year because of COVID. But it's still on Sweden time. But yeah, it is really cool. It's a cool thing that they do, and I'm very appreciative that I was invited to attend. But yeah, so I owe it to them to like show up tomorrow awake and engaged and ready to go, you know? So last night though, I was up till like 2 or 3 a.m. trying to get that episode finished, and then it's like I set my alarm for 5:20, and then I'm back awake, out of bed. So I took a nap after that, but yeah, I'm not doing that 2 nights in a row. No, it's not a Zoom meeting. It's Microsoft. They don't trust Zoom. Yeah, so last night I got like 3 hours of sleep. So I'm just like, nope, not doing that 2 days in a row. So we need to grab more iron, it looks like. Ostromoose says, it was a good episode, Joe. Ah, thank you. Kimberly Yu says, saw you crafting earlier. Yeah, Cleo and I did a craft stream along with Janie Laney. That was really fun. I made this roller coaster model of the Thunderhead, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. You know, when my daughter pointed this model out in the shop at the park, and I was like, I don't know if that's actually going to come out as well as it looks like on the thing. And she's like, I don't know, maybe try it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. And I'm kind of glad I did. I think it came out great. Okay. Astromoose says you caught my Norwegian accent perfectly. Blah. I don't know why all Norwegians sound like Dracula. Probably all the Dracula bites. You might want to go to a, I don't know what kind of doctor deals with those. A Dr. Van Helsing, I guess. Okay, so in order to actually make the netherite ingots, we need these. And then, did we actually have somewhere... Oh, did I... What is the recipe for that thing? The forge table thing. What is that called? Smithing table? We can do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and upgrade our boots and pants. Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants. Okay. Woo! Great. I feel more safe already. It's not like that would have been helpful when we were working in the Nether the last 5 weeks. It's fine. And I'll move these into here and take these shears. Nightshade Brimstone says, why did Mojang have a bunch of content creators sign an NDA? If you're not supposed to talk about the stuff, what's the point of talking to them? Okay, so the thing is that a lot of the stuff that's under NDA is under a timed NDA, right? So they might say, hey, we have this coming up. If you want to start thinking about, like, how you want to do something with it, with your audience, like, if, like, how, hey, this is a thing that you might want to make a video about, or a thing you might want to play on stream, or something like that, right? Start thinking about where you're going to fit that in your schedule, how you're going to, you know, if you wanted to record it with friends, you know, start planning, right? That sort of thing. You know, so it's valuable to us to know what's coming up, even if we can't tell you what's coming up, you know? Welcome, Morgana Beef. Glad you could join us. Nightshade says, ah, that makes sense. Yeah, so and it's one of those things too where, like, but like also there's stuff that, like I said, it's like a timed release thing. So like there's stuff that I can't talk about this week, but like I can mention it next week. Like, so then, like, let's say that next week next week is just an example. That's not actually, I'm just giving a time period. After some amount of time, they make an announcement, and people in my stream are like, huh, I saw that new announcement, I saw that video, or whatever. Well, what do you think they're going to do about this part of that? Or like, huh, they didn't really address this in the video. What do you think is going on with that? And I can go, oh, I actually talked to the developer of that, and I had the same question, and he said this. And then, like, that's the point where I'm allowed to talk about it, right? Like, that's, once it's public knowledge, we can discuss it. Why not use a hoe because it has longer durability? Can you gather leaves with hoes? I think you... Yeah, you're right. You can now. Oh, boy, that's one of those new things. RB says it's kind of like a no-spoilers reality TV show. Yeah, kind of. But, like, you know, so, for example, for Minecon one year, you know, I had a video that was ready to go live, like, as soon as they made the announcements, right? Yeah, silk touch on the hoe. Okay. Good to know. It has to be an enchanted one. Joju says, I always assumed any advanced warnings you got about things were from personal connections with the Minecraft developers. Well, the thing is, some of us are friends with people who work on the team, but we don't want to make things weird like that. Like, for the most part, it's not good to kind of mix stuff like that. So, you know, I don't usually ask about stuff like that from, like, Kojo or the other people that I know. But with this stuff, like, where they're actually doing formal presentations, you know, it's kind of a different thing. Because, like, Microsoft PR and all that have, like, approved what can and can't be talked about. That sort of thing. Noah Atoll says, do we know when HermitCraft updates to 119? It depends on who we is. I don't. Who do I think will win the Stanley Cup? I actually haven't played the Stanley Parable, but my friend Zombie Cleo got pretty far in it, so probably Zombie Cleo. Okay. So it's the Nether update that updated the hoe for getting leaves. Got it. Okay. That makes sense. So let's go ahead and replant some of this. Although I want to kind of push this forest back. I'm not sure. One of the problems I'm going to have is, like, as I'm trying to figure out, like, this components garden or this components trail here, I'm going to need to figure out how close I can get it to the pinball machine. Like, should the pieces actually maybe be up on some sort of boardwalk or platform? Or should they be... Oh, that's actually kind of an interesting idea, is having some of them emerging from the sea on platforms, so that the trail is like a boardwalk along the edge here. We've got some stuff on the interior. Because my original plan was to have the pinball machine facing the other way, and the components trail was going to be over here. Kind of along here. But this, so from here, though, the problem is you're going to be just looking at the back box, which is the least interesting part of all this, right? Now, from over here in the jungle, though, you've got some good options. And I still got this portal connector over here saved for if I decided to do it on this side. From a convenience standpoint, though, the nether tunnel does connect over there. Also, going too far this way gets us into the Zombie Cleo territory. Oh no, it's Zombie Cleo's territory. So, you know, there's all that going on there. Okay. So, anyway, so we're currently gathering leaves to add some depth to the back box here. AZ says, glad to see we're on the most obnoxious face cam early in the stream. Nice. Yeah, we had a stream earlier today. Whoops, that's not the link. That was the shout out for Spicy Haminator. Yeah, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We are currently 20 away from the next face camera expansion. Okay, so let's go lay our heads down and dream inside of our pinball. Scale pinball. Oh boy. Just looking at this bed is making me tired. Now I'm tired in real life. I was already tired in real life. It's fine. Okay. So yeah, maybe that's a good use of our time right now, is to kind of figure out. So, distance-wise, here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. This looks like it's. Let's look at our chunk thing here. So when we go this way, we're in. So is F3 and G to show chunks? 27, 28, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 20, 19. Okay, so that's about 7 chunks away from there. If we go here, though, let's see how far is... So this coastline, I think, is actually closer to the pinball machine. So this is chunk 12, and then the coastline is on chunk 6 and 5. So that's about 7 as well. It feels closer on this side, though. It feels like this side is closer. Now, when we get over here, though, maybe we're just the same distance away. No, those chunks are still loaded. That part of the back box is not. Why are they really here? Will you use armor stand magic inside the machine for the fiddly details? Ah, I don't know, because it's so big. The problem is that it's designed to be viewed from a distance, and the armor stands have a render distance limit. So we might end up just having this go around the back anyway, which means we need a good plan for how we're gonna make that work. On the plus side, there is like a huge like electrical warning label on the back of most pinball machines. We can make that fun. Whoops. Why did I get out of the boat? It's a mystery to everyone. Okay. So yeah, maybe we just do have it go all the way around the thing. And we use like the Bobby long distance renderer mod when we need it. Did I watch The Who's Tommy for research or inspiration? No. I watched it anyway, though. Did I make it to Beast Portal in the Nether? I did. You can see it in my latest episode, Noun Beast, including my negotiations with Beef for payment. But yeah, got all the way out to yellow 30. Beef is at yellow 30. So that's 30 of those segments. Between waking up early and having to wake up early tomorrow, like every time I think about the Nether, I'm just like, oh, now I'm even more tired. Okay. Yeah, because the thing is, we can't use the front side of the machine for the electrical components park path, because that is shopping district territory, even though the shopping district doesn't reach that far now. I'm thinking for our axolotl shop, we'll put the bucket, which is going to look like this. Well, not with the logo on it. But I got a bucket, and I got an axolotl here somewhere. Can I reach it without hitting the microphone? It's like right behind the microphone stand. So, for our axolotl shop, we'll have the axolotl hanging out in the bucket like it's a hot tub here, right? And that's going to go in here. And I'm thinking the water level of the ocean will come up to about here on the bucket. So, look at me. I've got a model of what my shop is going to look like, made of actual metal and actual lotl. See? So we're gonna move the axolotl shop eventually to right here in this little bay inlet thing. But yeah, so and then the other shops are gonna be kind of coming along here as the season goes on. Shopping district will probably expand. So I've been told not to build here to keep that reserved for the shopping district. So the front of the machine won't be really observable from the parts or components park. In some ways, it'd be kind of cool to start the components park here. So you got a view of the coin door and the plunger and everything, and then have it go around. But I don't know if I want to clear this much jungle early on. Alex says you should stake out the area you want the shop to go. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, actually, though, Alex. Like, that's... I'm not going to move the axolotl shop until I axolotly have to. Also, I should check and see if I've gotten any sales. I haven't been down there for a few days. Let's do that real quick. Let's see if we need to restock or anything. Because I actually have some new axolotls that we need to name and put in there. Oh, I haven't seen 1200 either. I watched 300, and I didn't say I want to do this 3 more times. That would be too much. Okay, so we've got one axolotl we need to take to the shop anyway. Let's grab some rockets, and let's go check on our shop. Because the last time I was like, well, I think I should move this. I go over there, and there's 19 diamonds in there. And I'm like, well, I'm not moving it now. People clearly know where it is. But, like, if things have started drying up, we'll look at... moving it along. But I really want to get some momentum on this pinball base rather than just be focused on like upgrading the existing shop build, right? Nightshade Brimstone, the parts that are going to be on the ground, like, are going to be disproportionately large. They're going to be larger than the parts inside the pinball machine to show detail. So it wouldn't look like they fell out of the pinball machine. They would be clearly a different thing. So here's our existing axolotl shop. Which does not have a full bucket around it. No sales. Okay. No, that's fine. So maybe it is time to start thinking about moving it, but I'm not ready. Still got to work out some of the math on the model. Okay. What was I going to do here? This one can be Fortunato. Whoops. The Fonz. Bruce Campbell. So we got 6 in that, 7 in that, 6 in that. Okay. Now we have 6 in all of them. I was hoping I would come back here and beat another 19 diamonds, but nope. Okay. What about doing the component garden on the seafloor and putting in a conduit so people can breathe down there? It wouldn't be very visually appealing. It wouldn't show up in the world renders because it would just be rendering the water. My degree is from Vanderbilt University, or Vanderbilto Daigaku. So... yeah, so it's probably better to just start clearing a lot of this out and figuring out what to do with that. So if we start figuring out how big the components are going to be, like, I mean, that button enclosure at the scale of the machine would be gigantic, but that doesn't really need to be much bigger than that because it doesn't have too many interesting parts in terms of a cutaway. Whereas, like, a capacitor or a diode or something like that, we gotta blow up and cut away. Might need, like, or like for one of the coils, like we might need a big cylinder here. I'm still I'm struggling a little bit to get my head around the scale that we need to build this at, and this is kind of why we're messing with it today, is to get in my queue, hey, do the math on the scale for each of these components. Figure out what scale they have to be built at, how much space each one needs, figure out how much space we have. How long have we been going for? About an hour. I was going to say, I'm actually starting to fade pretty hard. That 5 a.m. wake up is catching up to me. But yeah, let's just look at... so, in terms of space here, we've got a reasonable amount of space before we hit Jevon's sugarcane farm here. And then beyond Jevon's sugarcane farm, we eventually hit whatever this thing is. Probably ZF space. And Mumbo's slime farm. So... okay. So, like, I kind of want I want the components park to hug the coastline as much as possible. But if we need to have the path kind of wind inward and have, like, larger pads with pieces on them that are big, we've got some room. We're not immediately running into another hermit here the way we would hit the shopping district out in front of the machine. And we can build out into the ocean as well. You know, we can have some of the components on, like, barges or things like that. And I think that has an interesting value as well. Having little boats with giant LEDs on them or giant capacitors. Welcome, Miss Canuck. We're actually wrapping up. I woke up very early for the Minecraft Creators Summit today because it was on Sweden time, and day 2 is tomorrow. And it's on Sweden time, so I'm waking up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. So instead of doing the evening stream, we were just doing about a 1-hour afternoon stream. We're at an hour now, and I can tell I'm starting to combine words poorly, and yeah, we're at the point where it's like I'm gonna start dying in Minecraft from stupid elytra mistakes. I need to get some rest. Spicy Heminator says, do you have some ideas about what's going to be in the pinball machine? I have some ideas. I have some sketches. I've been working on the design, but I'm not ready to unveil anything. But the theme of the machine is going to be something that I'm going to pick. I have not announced that yet. I've got it narrowed down a little bit, but I'm doing a custom playfield that I'm designing. The artwork on the sides and back box I'm going to do myself, because I actually used to be an illustrator. I know it's hard to believe since I barely draw anything ever now. But yeah, I'm trying to use this project to kind of get the gears turning on a bunch of skills that I haven't gotten to use for a while. So, Zuzu says, this is a specific pinball machine you're basing it off of. The cabinet design, which is like the actual case around the machine, is based off Total Nuclear Annihilation because the scale works really well for Minecraft. Given the world height. Total Nuclear Annihilation is one of the shortest pinball machines. Like, the back box is lower than a lot of machines because it's got a relatively low playfield glass angle. It doesn't have a lot of ramps and stuff, which means my game isn't going to have a lot of ramps. But that's kind of okay, because for the Elytra course thing I was thinking about doing, a lot of ramps and stuff wouldn't really work anyway. Chloe the Great and Powerful tips 7. Thank you. That puts us now 3 away from the next face camera expansion, who says, thanks for the stream. Use this money for anything but eggs. Will do. Fake Zircon says, this seems like a season of skills you don't usually use anymore considering the April Fool's prank. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did take a lot of language courses in college and then only speak English basically for 10 years. Being a parent is a great way to grow as a person. No, I mean, it is. But, like, yeah, just the skills that I've been practicing the last 10 years and the skills that I practiced the 10 years before that don't overlap as much as they could have. And so, yeah, I'm trying to, now that my kid's getting older and more independent and I'm having more time to kind of get back to, like, you know, I got my bass out of storage to start playing that again. I'm starting to draw and stuff like that, you know, that sort of thing. You know, trying to resurface and re-practice some of those old skills and apply the ways that I've grown in other ways toward those crafts and those types of art. So yeah, the earlier stream, people were telling me I should buy a bunch of eggs. But anyway, this is what we actually made on the Arts and Crafts stream with Cleo and Janie Laney. If you haven't seen that, the VOD is up on YouTube and Twitch. But yeah, I spent about 3 hours taking metal parts from this sheet here and building the scale model of the Thunderhead roller coaster. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. So, yeah. Let's see who we can raid, because yeah, I didn't actually put in the title 1 hour chill stream, but I was like, if I make it an hour, I'll be proud of myself. So here I am. I'm proud of myself. I will be back streaming at normal time tomorrow because there's only 2 days in the Creator Summit, so I don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. on Friday. Just Wednesday and Thursday. Woo! Okay, so let's see what's going on. It looks like one of my server operators, Yurgi, is streaming right now. And Yurgi is playing a game called Part-Time UFO, which seems to have some sort of crane game element. I don't know what that is. But Yurgi is always great. So we're going to go ahead and /raid Yurgi. The new Vanillish server that I'm hoping to launch in the next week or so for my Patreon patrons. Yurgi is the creative lead on that project and will be running that server day to day. So I'm very happy to have her as part of my team. When you get over there, be excellent to each other. Be excellent to Yurgi. Our raid message is howdy y'all. Joe Hills raid here. Anyway, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do 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 do.